You're prompting Claude like a chatbot, and I'm programming it like a system. And the difference is costing you hours every week. Most people using Claude in 2026 are still doing the same thing that they were doing in 2023. They're typing a prompt, getting an answer, typing a prompt, getting an answer. Every time you want Claude to know how you work, how you write, what your standards are, you explain it again and again and again. That's not AI leverage, that's AI babysitting. Anthropic dropped something in October 2025 that changes this entirely. It's called Skills. My entire YouTube production pipeline, the research, the scripting, the SEO, the editor briefs, all of it runs on skills that I built. I'm not describing this from the outside, I'm living it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to build this, and you'll never explain yourself to Claude again. This is for builders, let's get into it. Here's the pattern I see everywhere. A builder opens Claude, they paste in a massive system prompt, they get a good output, they close the tab, tomorrow they open Claude again and start over from zero. Or they use projects, which helps, but each project is isolated. The real problem isn't how you prompt, it's that some things shouldn't require a prompt at all. Prompting is for decisions. Repetitive context is a system design problem, and skills are how you solve it. Think about hiring a contractor you've worked with for years. You don't brief them from scratch every single job. They know your standards, your preferences, how you operate. That's what skills give Claude. You brief it once and it shows up knowing how you work every time. So let me give you the mental model before we go anywhere near the file structure. A skill is an onboarding document for Claude. You know how you'd write a doc for a new hire on your team. Here's how we do things, here's our standards, here's what to do when X happens. You write it once, Claude reads it automatically whenever it's relevant. It doesn't matter if it's a new conversation, a new session. If Claude has access to your skills, it loads them. Here is something most people don't know is quietly killing their results in Claude. Every conversation has a hard limit on how much it can hold. For most users, that's 200,000 tokens, which sounds like a lot until you paste a big PDF document. That one PDF document eats 80% of your available space. And Anthropic themselves have a name for what happens next. They call it context rot. The more you pile into that window, the more Claude's accuracy and recall degrades. You're getting worse output because you've buried it. Skills change the equation entirely. Instead of dumping that PDF into a raw chat, Claude scans it, extracts what matters, and compresses it down between 500 and 5,000 tokens, a fraction of the space. Your content stays clean, Claude stays sharp, and it happens automatically every time. You can have 20, 30, 50 skills loaded and Claude isn't drowning. It only pulls what the job actually needs. Nothing else touches your context. And here's the part most people aren't talking about yet. Microsoft adopted it for VS Code and GitHub. Cursor adopted it. Gemini CLI adopted it. And OpenAI without making a single announcement, quietly adding it to their codex documentation. 26 platforms and counting. The competitors are building on Anthropic standards. That means a skill file you build today for Claude works in Cursor tomorrow, works in GitHub Copilot, works in any platform that's adopted the spec. This is write once, run everywhere for your AI workflows. The builders who start building their skill libraries now are building leverage that compound across every tool they use. This is the play. Let's talk about what's inside the file. Here's where it starts. Anthropic already built you a skill to build skills. It's called Skill Creator. It's sitting in your library right now. This is what Claude runs under the hood. Whenever you ask it to build something custom, you don't write code. You don't configure anything. You open Claude, describe what you want, and it interviews you. Asks about your workflow, your standards, your output format. Then it packages everything into a single file with a .skill extension. That .skill file is your skill. You install it once, done. Every future conversation, Claude has access to it, and it loads automatically whenever it's relevant. This is my research agent. I built it by telling Claude what I needed, how I classify topics, what sources I trust, what the output has to look like. Claude packaged it, it installed it. Now every time I say research this topic, it fires without me explaining a thing. Anthropic did the hard work. The format exists. The builder tools exists. You just have to know what you want to build. Once you build one, you can build a whole pipeline. Let me show you the actual system. Not a toy example, the real thing. My YouTube production pipeline has 6 skills. They run in sequence. Each one takes the output of the previous stage as the input and produces output for the next. Stage 1 is the research agent. When I have a video idea, I tell Claude to research it. The skill kicks in automatically. It knows how to classify the topic into my content pillars, what sources to trust versus what's noise, and exactly what the output format needs to be. Stage 2 is the script agent. I give it the research brief. The skill knows my voice, my brand creed, my sign-off, the exact format for B-roll cues, and chapter markers. I don't explain any of that. It already is encoded. Claude just writes. Stage 3 and 4 run in parallel. We have the visual director and we have the SEO agent. The visual director takes the script and produces a shot-by-shot production brief. The SEO agent produces the full metadata package, title options, descriptions, tags, chapter markers. Both of those are skills. Both load automatically when I just tell Claude what I need. Stage 5 is the editor brief. It takes everything, script, visual brief, SEO package, and then it synthesizes it into a single document my editor can execute immediately with 0 additional context from me. Stage 6 is the thumbnail agent. Takes all of that and produces 3 thumbnail concept directions with image generation prompts. The entire content production process from the video idea to the production ready deliverables, 6 stages, 6 skills, all running inside Claude. I built each SKILL.md file once. Now they run every single time I have a YouTube video idea. This is what a personal AI operating system looks like. Not one prompt, not one workflow, a composable stack of skills that each handle their piece and hand off to the next. And because the agent skills standard is now open, if I wanted to run this pipeline in a different tool, I don't rebuild it from scratch. All right, you've seen the mental model. You've seen the real pipeline. Now let's build something. Here's where you can follow along with me. Feel free to pause the video, get set up, and come back when you're ready. Here is where skills live in Claude. So we're gonna open the sidebar, then hit Customize. You'll see the Skills section. Now to build your first skill, click the plus icon. Then select Create with Claude. This drops you into a new chat conversation and hit Enter. Claude fetches the skill creator we talked about from earlier, and now we're ready to prompt Claude with our new skill. You describe the workflow you want to build. Claude will then interview you. It'll ask clarifying questions about what it should do, what good output looks like, what you never want it to do. Then it drafts the skill markdown file. But here's what matters. The draft is just the starting point. It's not the finish line. Run it on real tasks. Review the output, refine the instructions, then run it again. That iteration loop is what turns a decent skill into one that actually holds your intent under pressure. When you're satisfied, Claude will package it into a .skill file, and upload it into the skills section. Let me build one live. I'm actually gonna build the skill for my next video, Obsidian plus Claude. Here's a little context. Claude had 5 outages. When I opened Claude, my information was gone. I couldn't access anything with Claude. And this could happen to you too. That's when I realized I needed Obsidian. Full video coming soon. Make sure to subscribe if that interests you. So this is going to be my prompt. Here's where you can build your own skills. Why wait? Go build it now and come right back. Now watch what happens when I say, turn this conversation into an Obsidian note. I didn't explain the format. I didn't paste in context about how I structure things. The skill loaded because Claude recognized the task, and it applied to everything that I encoded. That's the payoff. Now, a few things will make or break your first skill. 1. Your description field is everything. That's how Claude decides to load the skill at all. Test it directly. Ask Claude, when would you use this skill? If the answer is vague or wrong, the description needs tightening. The skill creator has a built-in optimizer for exactly this. Use it just by asking Claude. 2. One focused workflow per skill. Think about it like hiring. You wouldn't hand one employee the responsibilities of 5 different departments, finance, video editor, front-end developer, etc. That would be a mess. Skills work the exact same way. Multiple focused skills compose better than one giant skill trying to do everything. Start narrow, expand later. 3. Iterate. Your first version won't be your best version. Run it on real tasks. See where Claude's interpretations differ from your intent. Refine the instructions. Skills are living documents, not set it and forget it. One more building tip that the docs bury. If you catch yourself typing the same prompt or the same context block more than 2 or 3 times across different conversations, stop. That's your signal. The repeated explanation is a skill waiting to be built. The threshold is simple. If it's happening more than once, it should be encoded. Last thing, and this is the part most people are sleeping on. In December 2025, Anthropic made skills an open standard. That sounds technical, so let me make it real. Think about Wi-Fi. Doesn't matter if you're an iPhone or an Android, a PC or a Mac. Wi-Fi works everywhere because the biggest companies in the world agreed to support the same standard. Nobody owns it. Everybody uses it. That's what just happened with skills. Microsoft is in, GitHub is in, OpenAI is in, Google is in. These aren't startups placing bets. These are actual companies that decide how the world builds software. What this means for you is simple. The skill you build today isn't locked inside Claude. It works across every major AI tool you are going to use. Your process, your standards, your way of working. You build it once and it travels everywhere. Builders who build their skill libraries now compound their leverage every time a new platform adopts this spec. The ones waiting for mainstream tutorials, they're going to spend 2027 catching up. Look at this, 8.1 billion people. Every dot is 3.2 million humans. The gray, that's 84% of the world that's never touched AI. You see the green? That's people who've opened a free chatbot once. Now look at the bottom, that tiny strip of yellow and red. That's you. The yellow dot, people who actually pay for AI tools. The red dot, people building with it at a level we've been talking about this whole video. 2 to 5 million people out of 8 billion. You're not behind, you're early. If this was useful, the full pipeline I walked you through today, every stage, every skill file, this channel is for the red dots. Builders, not browsers. Stay hungry, stay building.